So hi and welcome to Big Brander session about content marketing on a budget. Because we all know when you have a business, when you start a business or as a small business, we don't really have much budget to use. And then we're in, yeah, I see the faces. We don't have much budget. And then we're thinking what we're going to spend money on, how we're going to use it, how we're going to get the best results. And I can say that even as me, as someone that worked in marketing for so many years, I actually never used my full budget. And I used to get millions in my budget. And I always brought back like some of my budget, because it doesn't mean that even if you have it, you need to use it. You just need to use it smart. And of course, I always make jokes that I'm Jewish and Israeli. So of course, I'm going to save wherever I can. So all the free stuff, you can come to me. I'll share with you. Because that's what also I do with my business. Most of the stuff, I don't really pay much money. So first, yes, let's move to the slide. I love it how it's stuck now. You see, even for me with tech and everything, a second ago, it just kept on moving. I'm clicking. I'll this stop share and I'll share again. Share it. Oh, okay. And I moved too fast. Of course, my luck today. Okay, so first I want to start by saying about content marketing, because it's a strategy that we actually use. It's an approach that we actually use to share valuable content, valuable information, relevant information. And it's all about really being consistent with the type of content, because we want to make sure that we are tracking the right people to our brand and that we're engaging with them. Because social media and marketing and building a brand, it's all about building relationship. If you build a relationship with your audience, with the right audience, then you gain their trust. If you gain their trust, they're going to be loyal to your brand, which means they're going to be your best brand ambassadors as well. And they're going to, keep on coming to you for a question and everything. And that's what we want to do. We want to become their go-to person. We want to become that expert. And they know we're there for that. Content to actually position ourselves as experts, to build those relationships, to gain that trust, to interact with them. And that's one of the tools and strategies we actually using. So I want to share some of like the benefits of basically using content marketing. So first, it's a cost-effective strategy, okay? Because if you create the content, you write the content, it doesn't really cost you money. Okay. And today with social media and email campaigns, you can actually reach out to a lot of people with just creating one single post. Okay. It also helps us to increase our brand visibility, which is our brand awareness. Because when we're building a brand, we want people to get to know our brand. Okay. Even the big companies, and people tend to forget, but if you look actually at the data, Coca-Cola in our first year, can you actually guess how many bottles they've sold? You're more welcome to write even in the comments, but I look at the faces and I think you're probably not so sure. But just for you to know, Coca-Cola sold on our first year around like 8 bottles. Okay. And today they sell billions of bottles. So that's what you do. That's why you build the marketing. So first, we'll always have hope. And that's why we want to make sure that we're working on our brand awareness, that more people that are relevant to us will know about us, will understand, and will get to know with our brand. And that's what content marketing helps with. It also helps to establish credibility and trust, because we use it to establish ourselves as expert in what we do. We also, through the different various of formats, we can actually engage with the audience through, for example, using Zoom and an event, through like engaging through videos, blogs, any other type of content we have. And also, if we actually creating quality content, it really helps us to attract more people to our website, to drive more traffic. Also, let's say if we want to promote a YouTube video or anything like that. And when I said quality content, and I will share you some tips about this, but quality content, it means that we're sharing content that our audience finds as valuable, insightful, and something that can be helpful for them. That's what means quality. Okay, it's not about how you write the post. Okay, when I first started with social media, someone actually told me that I use like my English is too high, like too like professional. I'm like, English is not my first language. How could you say something like that? I couldn't understand what the person is like wanting from me, my English. And I realized because I moved from corporate life, I was using business English instead of like the day-to-day English, the English that my audience is looking for to hear and understand me. And once I've shifted that, then I start to see like better results. So that's like part of like also like when you create content, it's also to speak their language. And I will speak about the audience. Content marketing also helps you with SEO, because today when you Google something, if you on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those platforms, you are having the alt tab option, which means that you're going to appear there. And that's the purpose. All social media platform, for example, today is connected to this. Your website is connected to this. If you gain and part of like a networking group, or if you are joining as a guest speaker in certain places and they put it on their website, that's all connected. That all helps you with the SEO. And of course, to nurture a customer relationship, because it helps you to stay connected with them in real time. Okay, which is something to remember. So there's lots of benefits just from content marketing, just from actually creating content. But it's very important, and I always repeat it, that we want to make sure that we really know our audience. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're understanding them, because understanding them, it's really crucial, because by knowing our audience, we know where to find them, how to engage with them, and when to engage with them. Okay, it's all related. This is like the foundation of our business. That's why also corporates, they invest every year time on redefining their audience, see if something have changed, what have changed. Because for example, if we look at the customer behavior, it really changed, because before COVID, everything was like face to face. Then COVID happened, then we moved to like online, and then COVID passed away. So now it's like finding the balance between having the Zoom, having the face to face. So everything is changing. So that's why we always need to keep ourselves up to date with our audience. Even on a budget, like we can really create and build those personas and tailor them, and like as per our products, our service, our marketing efforts. And it's okay to separate them. So for example, I can say, I'm trying to reach out to work with businesses, but in order for me to work with businesses, I also want to reach to the ones that are the end users, the one that like working in those. So I can say I can come to the LinkedIn with one strategy and reaching out to the companies, and on the same time using Instagram to reach out to the people that works in that company, and not necessarily on LinkedIn or that active. Okay. We also can use tools like Google Analytics, because when you use it, you can see the type of people that are coming to your website. And then you can actually have a better understanding of the demographics, of the behavior, and all the other type of information. That's why, for example, when we spoke, Luna, before, like on the paid marketing, one of the things that helped me to define my audience for my paid marketing is to actually look at the analytics. Okay, I can see who's the type of people that are coming to my Instagram and to my Facebook and to my YouTube and all of that. And I'm looking as well on the ones who are visiting my website. So through that, I have a better understanding of who are the people from the age group and so on. And that helps me to even define it better. Okay, my audience, because we want to be as accurate as we can, and we really want to look at our audience as someone that we can really describe them. We can actually, I can imagine that person in front of me now, and I can tell you so many things about that person, because by you learning as much as you can about them, it's going to also help you, for example, by using relevant hashtags. Okay, because I'll know how they think. So I'll know what words to use, what type of hashtags they're going to search for. I can actually, from the way they're also doing the reviews, to have like identify from their top questions, so I can learn about the way they think. And for example, when you do paid marketing, if you want to get better results, you need to be very accurate with your audience. It means that I, for example, use things, people that are, for me, I say, like, if you want to invest in your brand, you also need to invest in yourself, because you are the brand. So I look for people that taking care of their health, and they do yoga because I love yoga. So they're like in the same spiritual mindset as me. I can also look, for example, for money wise. If someone is traveling and going to restaurants, it means they have the money to, you know, because they're spending on it. Also, if, for example, they're traveling, it means they're open-minded. They like to see new cultures, new things to learn, to evolve. So there's a lot that you can learn. And that's why it's very important to understand our audience, because as accurate as we can be, and of course, there's not like 100% of being accurate, right? But like as much as we can, and every time to do like fine tuning to this, it's really going to help us with our content creation and getting the best. And also, you want to make sure that you're developing the personas, okay? Which is like really describing them. What are the challenges? What are the struggles? And think about it from the point of view of the people that you're gonna also resonate with. Okay, it's not just them need to resonate with you. You also want to resonate with them, because you have a solution for a reason. If you know why you came with the solution, why you do what you do, you can actually find the people that can be in line with us. Okay, so we want to make sure, because we don't want to work with people that we don't really feel any connection, because then we're being grumpy and frustrated, like, oh, that client, like, oh, you feel like this. Okay, so you feel like you need to take a deep inhale and an exhale in order for, and we don't want that. We want people that think the same as us in a certain way, share the same values. And that's why all of that work is super important. And that's why I'm always focusing on like getting to know your audience. And I know I'm probably repetitive about this, but this is part of the foundation. Because when you build a brand and you want to succeed, it's like building a building, right? You do the planning, and then there's all about working on that foundation. And once that foundation is solid and ready, building up the floors, that's the easy part. And that's what we want to do with our business, to work on having solid foundation. Then the skies is not even the limit, because you can go up and up and up. The other important thing is to making sure to help us with this and making sure that we're using our budget right with the way we create our content and everything, is to actually set up clear goals and objectives, which I know it's something we say, oh, I'm going to do it. And then we don't do it. But it is something that it's important to do. Even if you don't write it down and it's just in your head, it's important to understand, because we want to have clear business goals, that we know what we're trying to achieve. If it's revenue, brand awareness, loyalty, what are we trying to achieve? Even before you create a post and any type of content, you want to ask yourself, what's the purpose of it? Where am I trying to get them to? What I want them to do? Because sometimes you don't want necessarily to generate leads. For example, when I started my business, I wanted more people to get to know me. I wanted to build trust, because I said, in South Africa, people are very suspicious. They don't really give you the benefit of the doubt so quickly. I don't have like people I grew up with. I wanted to focus on building my credibility, of gaining that trust. So you can play with the goals in a different way. And then you can identify the key metrics that will help you to measure it. Is it about the website traffic, about the amount of views, the amount of shares, like different engagement metrics, about how many leads have generated? And lead generation, it's not just about getting more business to sign with you or people to work with you. It can also be lead generation about how many subscribers you had for your newsletter or for an event that you're creating. So you want to also make sure that you know also how to measure it. So it's not just how to set up a goal, but it's also to measure it the right way, because eventually we want to know what's our ROI, which is return of investment. And return of investment, it's not necessarily financial. It can also be by brand awareness, by improving engagement, and so on. Okay, because it's very important. We don't want to work. Okay, so nothing happened, whatever. We want to be smart with our time. I always say you don't want to work hard, you want to work smart. It's not about working so many hours a day. It's not about being like all over the place. It's about being accurate, being focusing on what's right. And this is one of the things that's really going to help you with this. And want to make sure that we actually focus on creating content that helps us with those objectives and goals. Content that helps us to improve those engagement metrics that we wanted. If we want to start, like, I'm not looking, for example, at the comments on social media. I'm looking more about the saves and shares. Okay, so for me, if someone saved it, it means they are interested and they're going to come back to this at one stage. If they share it, it means they found it very valuable, so they want others to see it as well. Okay, so it helps me to understand what type of content works or not, because comments, not a lot of people feel comfortable to comment. Some of them like to be silent and then maybe send you a private message. So that's why I don't find like the comments as super important and strong versus like the save and share or the website tabs. So that's why you want to make sure that you know how you want to like how you want to measure it, and then create content that help you with this, that help you achieve this, and allocate, of course, the resources as per the budget. And one of the things that I like to do is, even for example, if you want to invest now in something new in the business, you just started, you want to change, you want to grow, I always like to set up a goal and think about, okay, how can I achieve it? What's the budget I need? And how can I maybe divide it to different phases? Invest, then I'll just on top of flow, and then I'll invest more. And also, when you have a budget, and even if you want to use it on paid marketing, you want to make sure that you are using it the right way. So I want to give you some low-cost content ideations, which is, for example, to use free keyword research tools like Google Keyword Planner, okay, to take ideas from there, see what are the top like keywords. You can use different platforms, for example, I think, Michelle, even for you, it's going to be better, like even on Pinterest, to get some ideas from there. You also have the option of like trends and so on. You can repost like certain stuff you've done and just play with it differently. So let's say a year ago, you created an article or a post on a certain topic, but it's still relevant now. And let's say back then it was a post, now you can create a podcast out of it. Now you can create a live out of it. Now you can create a reel out of it. So it's not always just to go and like think like, oh, what the hell am I gonna speak about? It's actually also to use stuff that we know that were working back then and just give them another point of view, give them another way to use. We want to make sure we're also staying up to date with all the industry news and trends. And when I speak about trends, it's topics as well. It's not just about an audio that it's trendy or a move. It's also really about topics. So if you hear something now on the news, and this is something I took from working in PR for many years, is that if you hear something on the news, or like maybe there was Emily in Paris, for example, and everyone who've done social media, oh, they jump on that trend and start speaking about social media and so on. So it can be different things like that. You watch something on Netflix, you watch something on TikTok, and you think like there's something in that topic. Take it, use it to your benefit. And also, you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with the different trends and different innovations and different things that are happening in your industry, because you want to be in the group that leading the market and not in the group that doing the Me Too strategy, which is the copy paste. Because the Me Too strategy, one of the things that people forget about is that sometimes if you join a trend when it's a bit late, it doesn't look good. It's look like, oh, now you remember to do it. For example, there was on TikTok that trend of people in that boat with the Titanic. Like in the beginning, it was nice, whatever. I never thought it nice, but let's say, but it was nice, and a lot of people were doing it. But at a certain point, people were like, "Are you still doing it? What's wrong with you? It's been passed." Like, are in the market and not like are behind. As well, we can partner with other influencers, other businesses from our industry, which is something that we can get from each other ideas. We can benefit from each other's audience. We can actually address like frequent questions that we're getting, maybe about the delivery, maybe about like how to do certain things. There's a lot of content we can actually get and create easily just by listening to our audience. Okay, they can ask you on social media, they can ask you on like in person, in a networking, on your website. Get those questions, use them to create content. As well, you can also create step-by-step guides, tutorials, things that your audience can find as valuable and relevant, which not necessarily going to cost you much, because most of us use Canva for a business. So you can, even on the free version, you can make a nice like guides and tutorials through that. You can even record an online course through that. So it's not going to cost you that much. And that's the beauty of it. Because today we have more tools that support us with this. As well, we want to make sure that we're monitoring the social media platform, like the discussions, the questions, so we can look at what others are from our industry are doing and see what their audience, for example, asked them. Okay, well, how did they commenting on that? What we can actually take from that as well, because there's always ideas everywhere. Okay, we just need to pick them up. That's it. They're like the saying, opportunities are everywhere. It's this, they're everywhere. It's just up to us to pick it up and be from the first ones, like to recognize them and push them forward. And you have also like cost-effective channels for you to use. So you can have social media, email newsletter, networking events, webinars, Q&A sessions, business WhatsApp, groups on different platforms. Where is it on, for example, on Instagram, you have the subscription one, but you have on Facebook, you have on WhatsApp, you have on Telegram. There's lots of free options there. Okay. But we want to make sure that once we're choosing those channels, and we want to make sure we're choosing the channels where our audience is more active in, we want to prioritize them. Okay. If there's a channel, it doesn't mean that we need to be there if it's not relevant to our brand, if it's not relevant to our audience. So we want to make sure we prioritize. And I know a lot of us, when we start like a business, we want to be in all social media platforms, because we think like, if you're going to spread ourselves everywhere, so it's more opportunities, and that's what we need to do. But it's actually wrong. Even when I only started with Facebook. Once I understood how Facebook works for me, I've moved to Instagram. Once I understood how Instagram works for me and I've built my audience, I moved to YouTube. And that's what I've done with each and every one of them. That's why I had already like a community, which I can use the followers funnels and move them with me to another platform and give them added value there. So it's not about just to be there. It's really to be and work and build that community. Okay. Focus on that. So you have a lot of like free channels for us to use. We just want to use them smart. And that's why, as I said, like we want to focus on building a community around our brand. Okay. Because that community helps the audience feel like someone see them, someone understand them, someone is there for them. They can be themselves. It's okay to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. But if I make you feel that it's comfortable and like you can come and that's okay, that's the purpose of it. Because eventually people buy from people, and we buy from those we trust and we have a connection. So I've divided here for like online platform and offline platform. So we can build communities around, as I said, social media, forums, groups, because for example, there's the meetup group that you can actually build there, like different also communities. So it's not just Facebook groups. Content marketing is one of the ways for us to build a community. Email marketing, webinars, virtual events. But on the other hand, we also have local events. Okay, so we can go to big like networking thing that you meet in a coffee place, or you do different ones. We can go to different workshops and other classes. and meet there more people that we can maybe connect with, maybe collaborate with. Networking, as I said, and local events, it can be everything, that you even just went out like in the evening with some friends to a market, and then you were chatting with this person, or like you even like, I don't know, they having a certain product and you think it's going to suit you. It's everywhere. Opportunities are everywhere. It's just for us to open our eyes and see what we can find. And of course, like if you do volunteering and stuff like this, you can also meet people. And that's the beauty. If you go to certain events and places that relevant to you, you can actually find there people that you share the same values. And that's a better collaboration, because that's the purpose of it, to work with the people that there's something there that we can actually build those relationships. I love it that I can be friend with some of my clients. That's the best part, because it means that it's more than just like me helping you. I actually know you, so I know how to advise you. I know how to help you. I can see you, I understand you, and you know me a bit, so it's nice. So, and I like that. That's the way I believe in working. That's how I've been doing marketing for the last, I'm afraid to say, 15 years. It's only when you start calculating, then I'm like, yo, I'm getting old. But I want to share some tips about leveraging social media platforms, because we all use that. So as I said, like, we really want to know our audience, because by knowing them, we know on which platform we want to focus. So don't just try to be in every social media platform. Ask yourself, which one is right for you? If you're trying to reach out to businesses, LinkedIn is for you. But if you're not trying to work with businesses, corporates, don't spend time there. If your audience is like young in a way, let's say, I don't know, up to like 30, 40, Instagram, TikTok can be for you. If your audience is a bit older, so Facebook is more for you. Every one of them have different audiences, different type of people that are looking for information there. Optimize your profiles. So make sure you're having the right profile pictures, that your headline is right, okay, that you're describing what you do. And when you describe what you do, you describe it in a language that your audience can understand, because you speak to them. It's not about being technical and just sharing my information. It's to actually share and like put it out there from their point of view of what they're looking for. And make sure that all your profiles are in line, which means that if you use a profile picture, try to use it in all social media platforms, because you want to be in top of mind. Okay, that's what helps the big companies. Everyone will remember, will see an M, a yellow M, you'll think on McDonald's. You'll see the V, you'll think about Nike. You see like the old man, like you'll think about KFC, the chicken of Nando's. Those are the symbols. That's what they're using. So you want to be repetitive. You want to make sure that you're using the same elements in your profile so they can recognize you. You want to create compelling content, which I'll give you tips after that. You want to create valuable and shareable content, as I said, because we want to make sure that our audience find it as relevant, informative, and also sometimes entertaining. Okay, we cannot be serious all the time. That's why I like to do like the ones with the voiceover, because I find them funny, my expressions. Which, if you ask me if I would have done a few years ago, I would say no way. I cannot even look at myself in a video, and I can't even hear my voice. But it's getting better. And as I said, you can partner with others. You can respond to comments. There's a lot that you can do there. You can actually do some research and learn through that about your audience. Also, you can learn which hashtags to use. And when you use hashtags, it's not about using because you can. It's to use the accurate ones and not to overload them. Because I see certain people like on Facebook putting so many links, but on Facebook, it's not really working much. So use 1 or 2 hashtags. Don't spend your time and energies on others. Instagram, yes, you can have 30 hashtags, but it doesn't mean you need to use all of them. I usually use between 5 to 10. Like, you don't want to, although the recommendation is 8 and to 15, but you don't want to overuse. And again, monitor your performance, check your analytics and see what's working and what's not. I want to share with you some tips to writing compelling copy writing. So I've kind of put them in different steps. So first, it's the opening, it's the headline. So we want to make sure that we're capturing the attention with the headline. Okay, so it needs to create some curiosity. It needs to get them even to feel a bit uncomfortable. It means like you just use different wordings. And today, the beauty of it, that if you're not sure how to choose a headline, you've got ChatGPT. You can actually write there any suggestions for headlines for this topic. And then below you say like use, I don't know, 3-5 keywords. And through that, you can get the ideas. Like some of my headlines for those presentations are not mine. I kind of took them from AI and I've played with them to suit to what I want to. So sometimes I'm taking different headlines and I'm combining them to one. So it's okay to do that. To take from AI. We don't need to always think. We're not like, we didn't study how to do creative in an advertisement company. So that's okay to use that AI help to help you with capturing attention. And also tell a story. It doesn't matter what you sell, tell a story. People enjoy a story. You want to take them hand by hand to where you want them to be. You want to take them from like, oh, I understand I have a problem. Oh, wait, can you help me? Ah, nice, I'm coming to you. I always compare it like to Hansel and Gretel, right? With the breadcrumbs. That's it. You put the breadcrumbs and they need to walk and come to you. So tell them a story. A story, it's also helping to create a personal connection. Okay. It helps them to get to know you, the brand. It's something that people can relate to. As well, it's very important to make sure that we are communicating very clearly our message. Because sometimes, as I said, like in the beginning, I was using business English instead of like day-to-day English, and people couldn't understand my message. And when I've done marketing for big companies, I always try to make my message, and I know it's going to sound bad, but that's how my head used to work. I used to say, if the stupidest person on earth can understand what you are trying to say, it means it worked. Okay, so I would go to the different department, not to marketing people. I'll go to legal team, to the finance team, to all of that, and I'll ask them, what did you understood from what I created here? Because I wanted to make sure that people understand it. Because I said, like, I'm a marketing person. I know what I was trying to say. So of course I'm going to understand it. And even today with my stuff, I actually share with people that some of them are still in marketing and some are not. And to see what else, what am I missing? If it's very clear or not. Because sometimes we think it's clear because we live it and we like it's part of us. But when someone else is like, it's actually not. And those are sometimes the small things that if we change them can make a huge difference and help us to generate more leads. Okay, because as I'm saying, like when I've changed my English to the day-to-day one, I could see the jump. And that's why I say it's always almost in the little things that we are missing on what we do that can make a change. And also you want to encourage action. Okay, even to make them feel like it's like a limited offer, or like, oh, you should like you need to sign up now before you're going to miss out. You need to do something. You want to lead them to action. And also leading to action and like creating a bit of like tension, it's not a bad thing. Okay, you want to maybe download this before it's getting deleted. That can also be something. You not necessarily need to do on the finance stuff. You want to subscribe now before it's actually the price gonna come out. You want to buy now before because of you, Michelle, I'm gonna say, because the delivery, the price is gonna increase. Okay, so you want to make sure you're ordering now before like the Christmas and then the pricing coming out. You want to have that urge, so they need to act, because if not, and if we're not in general leading them to action in our content by saying save it, share it, comment, check out my website, watch the video, listen to the podcast. If you don't do that, people are lazy. Okay, It's so easy to just watch stuff without doing anything. And giving a like, it's nothing. I always say likes don't pay the bills. Okay. Like it's like on the go. I'm being nice to you. Sometimes I didn't even read what you wrote in the caption on Instagram. I just liked it. But you want to do something, and we need to tell people to do something. We need to actually like remind them. It's a sense that like if I want to make a list or something, then I'm coming to the supermarket and then, oh, you're coming home and I'm like, oh, I forgot this and I forgot this. So I've developed a system that I just go aisle by aisle and I'm trying to see, but sometimes we do forget. So we want to have those reminders, and that's the same as our audience, because we're exposed to so much content and so much information, but that we tend to forget. We want to make sure that we're using words that are evoking emotions. Okay, our audience makes decisions based on emotions, not on their thinking part, on the emotions. So trigger them. Help them understand, are you feeling afraid? Are you feeling lost? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling excited? Or like, are you excited to receive this? Are you nervous? Use those parts to create on top of an emotional connection. And also take time to edit and proofread your copy, which is something I'm stuck at. So sorry. I think too fast and I keep forgetting. This always also didn't really help me in my degrees, which I need to remind myself at the end of the exam to stop and reread it. But it is something very important. Although we also need to remember that it's not the end of the world, because in most of our content, we can actually go and edit, but not in everything. So in an email list, you cannot go back and edit. You, of course, can send a new email, but it doesn't look that much good. On if you created a video and you had some spelling or something, you cannot go. You need to delete it and redo it over. So that's why if you create a Reels, for example, save the video before you added a caption, just in case of. I always want to have a plan B. But we need to remember, not in everything we're going to have that option to edit. Also experiment with different types, which is also relevant for paid marketing. You want to see what works, what's not. So we can even create the same post, but play with it in a different way. And maybe on one platform, like put it in a certain way, on the other in a different way, and see what works and what's not. And then through that, like refine our message. Okay. Because sometimes we think that like one copy will work, but it doesn't. So we want to try to different copy. Maybe it's the image that we want to maybe change as well. Okay. So even if you do paid marketing, play with this. And like, as I said, like you want to look at the inside. So if I look at my Instagram, I've changed my Instagram so many times on the design because I was seeing what people like or not. And then I realized now I finally found the formula of what people likes to save and share, what type of content. And I'm focusing on that instead of just wasting my time on creating things that are not really leading me anywhere. But I've been testing it. And again, what works for you, one works on us. Yeah, Michelle?
I just wanted to ask you where you said about changing your, your Instagram over time to get to where you want to be. Now, do you like if I go onto a new Instagram page, then I scroll through and have a look through all of their stuff if I'm interested in it. Do you delete the old stuff so people can't see you keep it there?
I keep
Even
it
though
there.
they can see like how you've changed and like maybe your logo is slightly changed or your message is slightly changed, or you keep it there. Okay.
So I keep it there from the reason that I want to be transparent with the audience, and I want them to get to know me, and I want them to see the process, and that it's okay that there is a process. It's not a bad thing. It's like you to say that all those big companies, they've changed their logos in time. Maybe some of them, they changed their colors, their message, but I've never went back and deleted everything that was. It's still part of the history of the brand. So I personally, because of the branding part, I like to keep it there and for people to see, yes, I've changed. And also it shows them that you listen to your audience, that you make changes. And people want to know that like you're not just a brand that's trying to sell me, that there's actually someone there that you listen, that you see them, you understand them, you're adjusting yourself. So I see it from that side. So I wouldn't delete. I don't believe in those that delete everything and starting from fresh. Like, no, you want to start from fresh, so open a new account.
Okay, so
Don't
it's not
delete
about having it look perfect. It's about showing people. Okay, that's my takeaway. All right.
Yeah,
Got
because
it.
there's no such thing as perfect. You know, we tend to think that, like, if it's like a, it's like, I'm gonna laugh. It's like I've started doing pole dancing. And there's one girl, like, of course, whenever she's did it, it looks so perfect, like so amazing versus like me. And I always say, you look like the Instagram version and I look like the reality version. Okay. And that's the thing. And we have a certain perception that social media needs to look perfect and so pretty and so good, but it's not. It needs to be authentic. And that's what I believe in. And that's the type of people I want to attract. So if you need to follow what you believe, and there is no such thing as perfect, because there's always going to be a type of a spelling mistake or something like this. And I learned it the hard way. Like, I used to work on catalogs and I used to give to so many people to go over them. And then I'll go to the printing day and then I'll come and like, whoa, wait, I saw the mistake. I saw that. There's always, and after you print it, you still found more. So there's always something. It's never going to be perfect. So, and I like, be you. That's you. That's the beauty of you in the imperfection. And again, even if you didn't like know so much how to write, what to write, look at others in your industry. Okay. Analyze what they're doing, what's working for them, and then see how you can maybe adjust it to suit you. And see how their audience is like reacting, and see if that's the reaction you want also from your audience. And through that, you can also learn. Okay, so we're almost done. Consistency is key and crucial. Okay, so to help you with being consistent, you can develop a content calendar if it works for you. For me, for example, it doesn't work. I cannot plan ahead. That's my problem. Frequency, it's to make sure you being there, you're not disappearing. Even on hard times, difficult times, you're still showing some online presence, showing something like here and there a newsletter. Always remember that to help you with the consistency is to focus on the quality versus the quantity. If you're focusing on the quantity, for example, on the quantity of how many followers we got or how many likes we got, or also on the quantity of how many posts we've done, it's not about that. It's about being accurate with what we do. We also want to be consistent with all the channels that we work with. And we want to be able to adopt. Okay, so things are changing, things are evolving, the social media, the email list, things are happening, innovations are coming. So we want to be able to adapt. We cannot be strict like this all the time. We want to make sure that we're monitoring the engagement all the time. And that's super important, consistency, because it's not to post now and disappear, or like, and not to respond for days or weeks. We want to be there. We want to show them we're there, we're engaging, we're seeing you. So it's to monitor that part. And of course, to focus on being relevant all the time. Okay, it's really going to help us to being consistent, because by us focusing on what's relevant, it's going to keep us up to date. And then we want to be up to date, like with our audience. Okay. So that's that.